Hi, I'm Jason Carter, and I'm sick and tired of college football fans letting good enough be good enough when it comes to the college football playoffs.
And I'm Stephen McCollum, and I'm tired of the NFL being the no-fun league when it comes to hits.
The Main Event Podcast, it's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Main Event.
You have fun at the game?
Oh, yeah, it was so exciting. They scored the winning hit right at the buzzer.
I think he wants to come inside Utley.
He doesn't always go down.
Got the red pure arc to that stroke, isn't it? Yeah, it's one to copy.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Put your testicles in the C gap.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast, episode number 36. Jason Carter along with Steve McCullum.
Hello.
Don't forget to interact with us on social media. On Facebook, you can find us at The Main Event Podcast. On Twitter, at The Main Event Pod. You can also hit me up individually on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at JasonCarter03 on all three platforms. You can hit up Steve at
SMAC500, SMAC500.
as we are getting ready, geared up for another great week of football. Got a lot of petty games, I guess you can say, in the college football ranks this weekend. A lot of people having homecoming, senior days. I mean, Alabama's playing what? Citadel?
Say it.
The Citadel.
The Citadel.
The Citadel. The Citadel is who they're playing. And then we got a whole bunch of great NFL matchups coming at you tomorrow and Monday. Some big news on the Monday game. I guess it wasn't going to be in Mexico, but not anymore. We that one up to LA pretty quick.
Yeah, so, reading all the follow-up on that being moved and everything, I guess, the NFL, dropped the ball on this from what everybody's saying. It's almost like they didn't want the game there because they knew the field. They were making it sound like that Shakira concert was, 2 days before, and they couldn't believe the field got messed up. But I was reading it was, a week and a half ago.
Well, the field's looked pretty rough.
Yeah, I know.
For the pictures I saw.
So, I think the NFL always wanted. But interesting fact, I found out that when your team travels to another country for a game, so if you go to London and you're the home team, your stadium has to be available that weekend in case they have to move it.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
I knew that you had to give up a home game in order to be eligible for a Super Bowl.
Is that really?
Yeah. That's why, so Jerry Jones actually said, he won't give up a home game because he doesn't care to host another Super Bowl.
Really?
In Dallas, yeah.
That's a stupid rule.
Yeah, that was the rule that came out. If you want, to your city to host the Super Bowl, you have to give up a home game and go to London or Mexico or something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, it makes sense that they have to, that they have a contingency plan just in case. But because a lot of things can happen going to another country. But yeah, I found that interesting because I was like, what if the Chargers, what if the Ram, what if the Coliseum has something else going on that weekend, But
I had no idea. And that's kind of weird too because it's double booked also, with college and all that stuff too. So it's always
Monday night,
one of those weird things. Yeah, Monday night. Not much going on at the Coliseum.
Maybe they'll have the end zone painted properly this time instead of
Does USC have a home game this week?
Doesn't matter. That was so gross. That's so disgusting. That's embarrassing for the NFL when they do that. Have to, because USC, for those of you that don't know, paint their end zone like that maroon red or whatever.
Ugly ass maroon red.
Whatever that is. And it's dark. And then the Rams come in and they're, yellow and blue. And it doesn't cover up very well. Let's just put it that way. It's gross.
They're playing UCLA this week. Is that the Rose Bowl?
I couldn't tell you.
Now I'm worried.
They're doing rivalry. Oh, that's right. The Pac-12 has that weird thing where 3 of the Pac-12 teams finish their season this weekend. Not after Thanksgiving. So, 3, I think it's UCLA, Utah, and somebody else finish this weekend, Colorado. So then they're just going to be scoreboard watching next weekend, for who can go to the championship game.
I don't think UCLA is doing much scoreboard watching.
No, they just want their season to end, so...
Put us out of our misery.
Good old Chip Kelly.
So I said, if they beat USC, it'd be a win. That's in UCLA, so there you go. It's on Fox.
Well, that's a real rivalry game. So anytime you beat your rival, it's a huge game. You could be 0-11, and you beat your rival.
Oh yeah,
especially out here in the West.
Did they go back to the letting them both rock the color jerseys?
That was a coach's decision back when Pete Carroll and. Who was that at UCLA? Jim Mora?
Yeah, because I remember one game they had him do it the first drive or something like that. Then they took him off or the first play. They showed up like that.
I think the warm-ups, and then that was when the Pac-12 or the NCAA or somebody made them change it out. And then they made that rule where if the coaches both decide, they can wear it. So they went with that. And that's the neat thing about it. Like, I hate when, I'm going to bash ASU here for a minute, but a few years ago, when Nike was doing all those different things, I mean, ASU went into a rivalry game with U of A in, like, black and gray. Like, not even your school freaking colors.
Right.
And it was just, I mean, they got a lot of flack for it, but it was just like, that's just disgusting, man. I don't like I get the black uniforms, but, like, this weekend they're wearing all white, which is not their school colors, but they all have maroon on at least, and the all whites look really nice, but it's not a rivalry game, so, when you play your rival, man, you got to go in school colors.
You got to rock that maroon, that yellow, that ugly-ass yellow, just get
Gold.
it going. Gold, sorry.
God dang it, dude. Gold.
Sorry. Gold. Whatever you call it here
Wait,
in Arizona.
it's better than puke orange.
It's not puke
That
orange.
Tennessee
it's beautiful
has.
orange.
It's what?
Beautiful
Puke orange?
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Whatever grows orange color, Tennessee wears.
Anyways, so college football rankings came out this weekend, and you have Alabama sitting there number 1, Clemson at number 2, Notre Dame at number 3, Michigan number 4. No surprise there, right?
I'm opening a Dr. Pepper.
No surprise there. But I saw this interesting. I don't know who put this together, but somebody...
Are you surprised by the rankings this week?
No, I'm not surprised. Somebody put together a 16-team college football playoff, which is something that we've all been clamoring for. And, people have been trying to make, you got to get all the winners of each conference in there. You got to get this.
16's too much, but okay.
But this guy simplifies it. So what you do, you have 1 through 16. So right now, I mean, Iowa State would be 16. And they would play Alabama. Obviously, they'd play in Alabama. And then the winner of that game would go to the All-State Sugar Bowl. The winner of, 8 and 9, which right now would be West Virginia Mountaineers against Washington State Cougars, would play them in the All-State Bowl. And then, you have your All-State, Rose, Peach Bowl, and Fiesta Bowl this year would be the, still be the big games. I mean, potential matchups at the Peach Bowl could be a Clemson against Ohio, Clemson against LSU. Texas could sneak in there if they beat Clemson. I don't know. I just like this guy had it figured out. And then the semifinal games will be the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. And then you do the national title game. So what's that? 2 more games? Two more games.
Oh, 2 more?
Yeah. Because you have just the 2 more games.
But the team that goes to the end, is going to play 4 games additional. Then now they're playing 2 extra, but then they'll play 4 extra then.
Well, I'm not counting, like right now the playoffs, I'm including the playoffs. So, you do the 1 and the 2. So if you had this, it'd be effectively 2 more games.
Here's the problem with that. Do you want to see Alabama play the 16th ranked team? Who wants to see that?
I don't want to see Alabama play the 3rd ranked team this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because that's Notre Dame. That's going to be ugly. But that's my point, right? We're complaining about Alabama playing the Citadel today, and you want to see him play Iowa State or somebody? Like, come on.
All right, well, it's not like I want to see Alabama play Iowa State or somebody, but, I mean, Alabama's going to run the table regardless.
But Clemson, pick Clemson.
Look, a Mountaineers Cougars game, that'd be pretty exciting.
You know what we call that, Jason? A regular bowl game. That's what we call that. Let's just watch that as a regular bowl game.
You could have the Syracuse Orangemen potentially beat Michigan, knock them off at number 4. That'd be interesting.
Or Michigan can go and get in the Final Four just like they should be this year.
Clemson and Texas? I mean, that could be a good game.
It's not going to be a good game.
Ohio State and LSU?
That's not going to be a good game.
That'd be a good game.
Not going to be a good game.
UCF against Notre Dame?
That's
another great solid matchup.
You want to see... Wow. Let's keep it the way it is.
Why? Because it's good enough? Like, all they did was say playoff. Like, they changed nothing.
It's not because it's good enough. Who wants to watch those matchups? Who?
Why not?
You're going to sit out...
I would watch it.
You're going to sit down and watch Clemson beat whoever by 40 points in the first round and the second round.
They could lose. Haven't you ever seen that movie, Any Given Sunday? It's because Any Given Sunday, you could lose.
Except they play on Saturday, but whatever.
Well, still, you get my reference.
So, yeah, I think expanding the playoffs in college football, because there is such a disparity between, the thing that makes college football great, isn't it, is you get those random matchups in a regular bowl game for one game. Because that one game, anybody can win, right? So, like, Boise State, when they came here and beat Oklahoma, that was, like, amazing. But why was it amazing? Because it was one game, they came out, Boise State had something to prove. Oklahoma really didn't. And it was just a domination, whatever. All that gets taken away if you go Alabama again. All you'll hear in that. Could you imagine the hype that week in freaking ESPN? Oh, Alabama's got a tough one this week here coming up, guys. And then they're going to win by 70. And it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen. It's not keep the playoffs way it is because it's good enough. It's because you will hurt the matchups in regular bowl games if you take that surprise one game winning out. And it's not going to mean anything at that point, is my point.
I don't know. I mean, you have, 68 teams in March Madness?
Basketball you can play every day. Football you can't.
Well, just take away the freaking powder puff games that you have early in the year.
The SEC will never do that.
You can take one or two away.
The SEC will never do that because they need those powder puff games to make their conference strong.
Well, you can just start off and be like, all right, week 1, everybody plays a puffer. And then from there, we're right into conference play for every conference.
Like, the NCAA doesn't rule that. The conferences rule that. Like, there are conferences, at least a couple years ago, that hate the SEC because of the way they schedule. They don't play everybody in their conference, right? And because they play 2 or 3 cupcakes during the season, in the middle of their season, right? And no other conference does that. Every other conference plays all their team. I mean, obviously the Pac-12 misses, 2? But we don't schedule, or the Pac-12 doesn't schedule the Citadel in November. You know what I mean?
This is what Nick Saban has to do to make Alabama look strong.
Because, no, it's their break. It's, the thing is like, oh, they need a break in the middle of the season. It's basically a bye without being a bye, right? And all that. Whereas every other conference, I mean, look at the Pac-12 this year. They're just beating everybody. Everybody in the Pac-12 South is beating everybody in the Pac-12. Like, there is a scenario where every Pac-12 team can become bowl eligible this year with just like 1 or 2 losses going the right way. Like, what conference can have 12 teams be bowl eligible?
ASU has potential to go to the title game.
If they win out, they go in.
Because, that's crazy.
Because they have all the tiebreakers. Because they'll beat all the teams that were ahead of them and all that stuff. So, but even then, if they lose tonight against Oregon, they can still go. If other teams lose in that way, which is certainly possible. The Pac-12 isn't as strong as the SEC, the top of the SEC, or they're not a powerhouse. But Pac-12 is a tough conference, and they're pretty parity conference, and they get punished for that stuff. But at the same time, let's be honest, nobody's going into Alabama and nobody's going up against Clemson and beating those schools for most conferences. There's probably 4 teams that, I mean, Notre Dame's ranked 3rd in the thing, and they don't even have a chance against those 2 teams. Like, we're basically playing for who's going to lose to Alabama and Clemson in the playoffs. So why do we want to expand it to 16 so we can watch 14 other teams lose?
I'm just saying, UCF needs a shot.
Oh my God, here we go.
College game day is going on right now, actually.
Y'all are going to see me flip out here in a minute.
So college game day is going on right now, and I've the sign of the week, I think. Here.
Give it to me. It has
a UCF logo in the back. Kid's holding it. Says they're, of course, in Florida, in Orlando, is where college game day's at.
On campus.
Getting ready for the big Cincinnati Bearcats and UCF. Nice.
This is how ridiculous it is. That's the game of the week on ESPN tonight, folks. Well, the primetime game is UCF.
Well, NBC has Notre Dame games, right? and Fox got the other game, I think. I think they got a Big 10 or Big 12 or something like that. All right, so this side, I like it. It says, I had a better sign, but CFP committee didn't let it in. Yeah. That's glad. That's good. I like it.
Here's an idea, Central Florida fans. I'm gonna plant my flag on this one right here, and you can at me if you want. Hey, play somebody that freaking matters, and then come back and talk to us. You don't deserve to get in the college football playoffs just because you go undefeated against a bunch of pansies. We don't want you in there because we don't want to see you lose by 800 freaking points against men because you're all a bunch of junior high kids compared to these guys that are going to make the college football thing. Knock it off. You aren't the best thing on the planet. You know what? Here I go, everybody, because this UCF thing just drives me bad.
Hey, Mickey's there.
Here we go. It's Orlando, Jason. Yeah, exactly. UCF's a Mickey Mouse school. There we go. I said it. Mickey Mouse school.
I didn't realize his eyes blinked in his costume. Did you see that?
That was
creepy.
That was kind of creepy. But here's the thing. You know what? The college football people should put you. Let's put UCF in the playoffs.
There you go.
Yes. Shut them up.
About time you hopped on board.
And they can go. No, because what it's going to do is it's going to work in my favor. They're going to lose by 772 points, and then they'll have to shut the hell up and stop talking about how great they are and how they deserve to be in there. Josh Heupel, an underrated quarterback at Oklahoma, when he played and won a championship, all of a sudden thinks he's playing with Scott Frost people, who Scott Frost can't even win at Nebraska. I mean, this is a joke of a school. This is a joke of a program. This is just an absolute great woohoo. They might as well be D2 at this point, whatever, FBS sublet 12, 13. But we seriously, UCF, you can pick up the phone and you can call any big time school. I'm sure the Pac-12 would love to play. Pac-12 actually travels and plays tough teams for the non-conference schedule. We've gone to Georgia. Pac-12's gone to Georgia. They've gone to Alabama. They've gone Michigan. They've gone Michigan State. Like ASU's going to be a Michigan State name. Central Florida. Pick up your phone, call a Power 5 school, and schedule the damn thing. And you're going to lose. You're going to lose badly against the worst team in the big conference. So let's do it so you can shut up. Do you know the reason why they don't do it, Jason? It's because they know they're going to get their asses handed to them, and they want this narrative that they're the best thing ever. Hey, we're the national champions, college football team.
Look at that national title ring that guy's wearing.
I swear to God, oh my God, I'm not going to make it through this day.
Well, right now, there are some projections out there, which is awesome. That UCF, my national title team, could be coming to Arizona playing the Fiesta Bowl.
Great. That's awesome. So we can watch them lose. That's perfect.
I think last week the projections were against Texas. So
yeah, it was Texas.
Does that mean you're going to be the biggest Longhorn fan?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be that's what I was saying, you're going to see me in burnt orange. I'm going to be I'm going to be flying to Austin and buying gear.
He's going to have selfies with Matthew McConaughey.
I'm going to have Tom Herman for president signs, even though I don't like the guy. I'm going to have, my Young jersey. Wasn't he a quarterback there? Vince Young jersey.
Number 10, baby.
Ricky. I'm going to have
Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Ricky Williams' pot shop while I'm there. Support Ricky Williams. I get a hat. Hey, I'm gonna be the biggest Texas guy on the planet.
You'll get one of those Toby Keith cowboy hats with the Longhorn spray painted on it.
Yeah. My hands are gonna get frozen in the hook 'em horn sign. People are gonna be
remember,
in February, people are gonna be what's wrong with his hands? It's just he hook and horned it too much.
Remember the hook 'em horns? You got to do the thumb over the fingers.
I'm gonna have to learn it.
So I don't know. You probably remember this Christmas Day back in 2013. It was, and the Cowboys' mission to try to lose every game possible at the University of Phoenix Stadium. When Roy Williams caught a touchdown pass late in the game that put him up, and he did the hook 'em horns like he always did,
Uh-huh.
And then Sam Hurd comes in, and he just does a Cowabunga logo.
Hang loose. Hang loose, man.
He got flagged for team celebration. It's really?
I remember that.
Are you shitting me? Then the guy missed the extra point and the Cardinals won.
I think the hook 'em horns is more offensive than anything. So that shouldn't just get a 15-yard penalty. That should get you thrown out of the game.
Horns down is always effective. That's always the effective.
Somebody just did that a couple weeks ago, and they got flagged for it.
Yeah,
for going down. I don't remember who it was, but
I think it was Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you know what? That's right, because they beat him, right?
Yeah.
Mike Gundy beat him. Yeah, Mike Gundy came back and beat him. Mike Gundy won a big game a couple weeks ago, folks.
Dude, Mike Gundy, we got Mike Gundy sound drops we're going to play here.
Oh, my God. That's rolling to that.
Well, before we get into that, we got 10 minutes before college football does start, because we are filming this on Saturday. Not refilming it, but recording this on Saturday morning. I just had my first cup of coffee. Feeling great and refreshed. So we got, 3 top 25 games?
Woo! It's a week. It's a sad Saturday, folks.
Sad Saturday, but hey, guess what? Your boys, Iowa State, number 16, going to Austin to take on the other team. Texas.
My boys.
Number 15.
I've never been a Cyclones fan, for the record.
Well, you were talking smack about them, so they're your boys now. I'm surprised, like...
It's in Iowa?
It's in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Texas
is winning that. Hook 'em horns, baby! Hook 'em horns!
Every year, somehow, Iowa State ends up with 3 losses in the top 25. And, like, you talk like SEC bias? Like, what the hell? This is like some serious Big 12 bias right here.
You know
both
why?
Both these teams have 3 losses, and they're both ranked in the top 16.
But that's the thing, right? It's because it's who you lose to, right? So
Tennessee's been getting their ass kicked by SEC teams all year. How come they can't get a 24?
It's because it's also who you beat, Jason. They both have great wins on their record. So they've lost a couple to good teams, but they've also beaten good teams.
Tennessee beat Kentucky and Auburn, 2 top 25 teams, all right? Suck it. Suck it. Rocky Top, bitch.
But hook 'em horns in this one, Jason. Hook 'em horns!
I'm going Cyclones, man.
Everybody that knows me right now knows my hatred for Texas, and they're literally probably like spitting their coffee out.
They think you're on some like Steve's taking his happy pills today.
Yeah, like somebody's like the police are gonna show up at the front door here at the studio here in a few minutes and be like, we've had requests to check on the welfare of Steve because I have a general hatred for Texas football folks.
We also got a big game happening at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, is this the Yankee Stadium?
Yes, Syracuse taking on Notre Dame.
Is this where they wear the pinstripe ones?
Yes.
Oh,
Notre Dame is 10.5-point favorites against the Syracuse Orangemen. Orangemen, man, ranked number 12 in the nation. Like, hello, this is like 2002 all over again?
Whenever McNabb was there, like, that was the last time they were good, right? Who's Syracuse's head coach now? Do you have any idea?
Did he used to be like a Barrett? No. Who's I thinking?
It's not Boeheim.
I was thinking like Lovie Smith, but he's Illinois.
Yeah, it was it was somebody big, but did he get fired or is he still there?
Charlie Weiss? Dino Babbers? Dino? Is that him? Dino Babbers? Yeah, Dino Babbers.
I don't know who that. Yeah, so the big name guy before him got fired or whatever, so this guy came in. But yeah, Syracuse football is. I haven't seen a game like they quietly snuck up the rankings. But God, I'm not a big Notre Dame fan. I feel that on a side note here, Jason, I feel that like all the uproar about Indian nicknames and inappropriate nicknames, and yet we continue to let the Fighting Irish be a derogatory, and it insults me and all my Irish brethren.
You are Irish.
All my Irish brethren out there.
And they have a midget leprechaun.
All leprechauns are midgets, Jason. They're all short. However, the reason why nobody's in uproar over the Fighting Irish logo is because we all agree with it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest.
They might as well just be like drunken Slavs, and we'd all be like, yeah, good nickname, woohoo! But anyway, back to my thing here. I haven't seen Syracuse play all year, so I have no idea here. But damn, if this is okay, here's my caveat: if Notre Dame is wearing those pinstripe uniforms, Notre Dame's winning this game, baby. Those pinstripe uniforms are gonna will them to victory. However, I think Syracuse is going to win this because I don't want to pick Notre Dame.
You think the pinstripe uniforms are going to will Notre Dame to victory?
No.
Did you not watch the playoffs this year when the Red Sox, your 2018 World Series fucking champions, went into New York, blasted them, went home in sweet Carolina, won the World Series, playing New York, New York. You know who wore pinstripes in that series? Not the Red Sox. It was the Yankees. Notre Dame loses this game to Syracuse. They are out of the college football playoffs. Thank you, Jesus. Let's go, Orangemen.
Did you not hear me say I picked Syracuse at the end of that? Like, I literally waffled back and forth, and then I said, Orangemen are going to win this.
Well, I was definite in mine.
They're not the Orangemen anymore. They're just the Orange, by the way.
What?
Did they drop the Orangemen?
No.
Yeah, it's Orange now. They dropped the Orangemen.
Oh, that's stupid.
It was offensive to oranges or something.
I'm still going Orangemen.
Yeah, it's just the Orange. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, your mascot's an orange?
Their cleats, though, for this game, like, dope.
I'm telling you. Notre Dame is going to be... you will never catch me in Notre Dame gear, folks. And I might go buy a jersey that they're wearing today, or a hat or something, because it looks awesome.
I don't like the pinstripes on the shoulders.
That's what I like about it. It's all with their rippling biceps and their. I'm gonna need them in here, folks. Just kidding.
Dude, that's just a mannequin. That's not a... You're
I'm
getting ahead
telling
of
you,
yourself.
the Notre Dame. Only thing Notre Dame is winning today is uniforms. Is the uniform contest. But yeah, why do they do? It's that Shamrock series, right? That Notre Dame does.
Are they gonna play all these games because they have so many fans around the world? Thank you, fucking Rudy.
I know, but like, why do you play that in Yankee Stadium 1, right? Like,
right?
It's not a good venue for that. And then 2, why do you do that on November 7th? It's snowing back there, dude.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's November 17th. And why would you, if you're going to do that, like, they open up, like, ASU played Notre Dame, like, in Dallas, I think. It was someplace. But it was the beginning of the season, you know? Like, why are you doing it now in November? But... we need Syracuse to win this one, us Notre Dame haters, because SC ain't beating Notre Dame this year.
Not at all.
Ugh.
I'm not a Notre Dame hater. I just don't think they should be there.
Yeah, because if they don't, they're going to go to the playoffs, and everybody's going to overhype them, and they're going to lose to Syracuse again, 45-0 or whatever. I mean, to Clemson again, 45-0, or Alabama, 45-0.
I'm just glad.
Who wants to see that?
I'm just glad it's not BCS era right now because their name would have them hop over Clemson and they would lose to Alabama.
It happened remember that last time they were in the national championship
Yeah,
game?
like
They
5 years
jumped
ago, 6
everybody.
years ago, whatever. Yeah.
And they didn't. Everybody said they don't deserve to be there, and they were like, "We deserve to be here."
It was
and
name
then they got their
recognition.
butts kicked, and it was the worst game ever.
All right, well, everybody's getting geared up for the big game of the week tonight. Cincinnati, number 24, traveling down to Orlando to take on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, UCF, University of Central Florida Knights.
Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about this. I'm picking Cincinnati because I swear to God, I hope they can just beat them. Just shut. Just somebody punch UCF in the mouth and get him to shut up. UCF's that little kid when you went to school with that nobody liked. It was kind of nerdy, you know. And nobody got along with him, and he was just, everybody tried to like be nice to him, because he was just annoying, and everybody just tried to be nice to him. But he just kept going and going, and then eventually somebody hits him in the mouth, and then the kid stops it, and stops being a big mouth. That's what we need somebody to do to UCF.
See, I have another analogy of how UCF is. UCF.
Here we go. Here comes a David and Goliath reference.
UCF is like that girl
Always girls with you.
who, is in 7th grade. She comes home or she goes back to school from the summer and she grew boobs. So everybody wants a piece of that. She has boobs in 7th grade. Like, hell yeah. What's up, UCF? And then, the boobs are cool and all, but we all know in a couple years, she's going to get pregnant, fat, sloppy, work at Jack in the Box rest of her life. Right now, she has boobs, and she's looking good. So for that, UCF, Knights, they're going to win this game. It's a pick 'em right now, but hey, I'm picking them to win by 20.
The views expressed by Jason Carter are his and his own, and do not represent the views of anybody else here. Wow, that was the worst analogy I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, you would. You thought of it. And the show comes to a complete halt. Thanks, everybody. So anyway, so we got now that we're all uncomfortable.
So ASU plays tonight, right? Yes.
Yeah, Oregon, I believe it's a night game. They have to go back to a night game after being 2-0 for day games at Sun Devil Stadium. The rare day Sun Devil Stadium games. Who do you got in that one, Jason?
Real quick, there's nobody at Alabama right now watching this game.
Why would you spend...
This is 20 minutes before kickoff, dude. There's nobody there.
I would rather... Oh, Nick Saban's going to go off today, too, about it. You need to support our team like you did.
Well, if you're a Bama fan, because tickets are pretty hard to come by because all their big games they have, when would this be the game you're like, hey, let's just go watch and kick somebody's ass for
that's what I was going to say,
30 minutes and leave?
So everybody... So it's like that thing where, you have all those people that either can't afford to go or they can't get tickets because they're sold out. So, season ticket holders will be like, hey, the people that, appreciate it, hey, do you want to take your kid to this game, because they don't want to go because, they know it's going to be blah. But then the people that can never go, would really appreciate it. Even those people today are like, that's all right. We'll pass. we have to... put indoor plumbing in or whatever people do in Alabama. Yes, folks, I'm gonna bash on Alabama here for we have a cross we gotta burn. We're gonna go do that before we All right.
Wow. Yeah, the views expressed by Steve McCullum.
Yeah.
Or Steve McCullum's only.
Went there, folks. Went there.
Let me see if I could find. I don't know if it's still up there because
I don't know what happens in Alabama. Like, I've got to go to Alabama at some point in my life, like soon, because
I've been to Talladega. You ain't far off here now. Jeez.
it's like the time I went to Bristol and I was all like excited because I'm like, ooh, Bristol, you know? And you get to Bristol and you're like, wow, let's get out of here.
You know, like back in NASCAR's like booming days, Bristol was like the smallest. It's the smallest city, I think, in Tennessee. But
it's on the border there.
But back in the day, like, you know, in the early 2000s, late 90s, it became the third largest because of everybody that would go to Bristol and like camp out. Like, how cool is that? So.
Oh, you saw the last thing we had NASCAR here. I mean, that was a giant freaking city down there, you know.
Oh, I know. It was freaking insane.
You know.
But yeah, so ASU plays tonight against Oregon. Go ASU. I like to see the Devils do good. Get them out, keep them out of the Sun Bowl.
Oh my God! I know you were doing bowl prediction. You're like ASU to the Sun Bowl, and I'm like, dude. Oregon lost to Utah last week, and ASU beat Utah, so therefore hearsay, vis-a-vis. But Oregon's a tough place to play. One.
Remember back when Oregon was ranked like top 15 this year?
Yeah, I know.
The money had fallen.
Oregon's tough. Yeah, remember they beat Stanford early in the year. That was like and then SC, and that was like the biggest games of the year, like early on. And now it's like, oh, what happened? But Oregon's a tough place to play, regardless, because the way the stadium is, you know, it's built right on top. They have this weird. If you've never been there, they have this weird drainage thing where the field literally like is an ellipse, like it's not flat. It like goes like a circle. So if you stand on the right sideline, like you can barely see the heads of the people on the left sideline.
What?
Yeah. So it's hard to throw there and stuff. It's like a drainage thing. It's weird. But then it's going to be cold. It's a night game. It's going to be cold.
Going to be rainy probably, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Always rainy.
So you got to worry about that. But I'm going Devils tonight. We're going, baby. We're going to go into this U of A matchup next Friday at 1:30 p.m. And it's going to be for the Pac-12 South. And go Devils!
Well, speaking of your counterparts down there in Tucson.
In my counterparts. New Mexico Junior.
They are playing Washington State tonight. Mike Leach, baby.
9-1, baby.
Mike Leach.
Did you see that, before we get into Mike Leach and Gundy there, did you see, here's the difference. We'll just lead into it. You have all ready for that?
I'm looking for it now.
We have to do some, we're doing, so I'll talk about the difference.
Are we talking about the brawl right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
but, just any of Mike Leach's clips, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between Pac-12 coaches that are fun and those that have sticks up their asses. So play Mike Leach first.
Shoot, I don't know. Trying to think through them. Well, based on their players, Kyle would be. I mean, those guys hit you as hard as anybody in the conference. Plus, he's in good shape. Okay, so let's see. We got Kevin. Then Herm Edwards is in great shape. Let me think. Am I missing anybody? And I don't really care if they get ticked off. Because actually, privately, I think I would, but we're going to be more modest than that. I'm going to say Kyle or Herm for sure. Kyle or Herm.
Why is that?
Well, they're both in shape. For a while, I mean, simple. This age, if you're in shape, you got a chance. They're both in great shape. You know, they're both in shape. They both exercise. And then, pretty good and successful. Background as far as conditioning, all that, and then both defensive guys, where their defensive players play tough and physical. So, yeah, I think I'd go with Kyle or Herm.
So you kind of think endurance is more so the biggest factor?
Well, now if you could stay away from him, you'd still be standing. I don't know, maybe one of the distance runner looking guys. I don't know. That's a tough question.
What about like size, like a guy like a Mario Cristobal at Oregon?
Well, you don't want to get tied up with him. You don't want to let him get his hands on you because he is big and he's got long levers. You don't want him to get those things on you. He would be dangerous, though. There's no question. Formidable for sure.
Not to get you in trouble, but which coach would you least fear?
No, I can't say that. No. We already went down that hole way too far. All right.
Washington State is ranked number 8 right now in the nation, and Mike Leach is literally talking about what Pac-12 coach would win in a fucking brawl. That is how awesome Mike Leach is. Like, and he wasn't like one of those like deals, like you asked Nick Saban that question, what SEC coach would win in a brawl? He'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about here. Like, what's going on? Like,
you don't have to go to Nick Saban. You can go to the head coach of the U of A Wildcats, which unfortunately the clip was deleted. But they asked him this week. One of the reporters asked him this week in his press conference how being a head coach is different than being an insurance salesman. And he sits there and blandly starts to say, I never sold insurance. I was a guy that set prices and everything, and I can't believe I'm talking about this because we're playing a 9-1 team this year. But an actuary like did the things, and then we set the prices based on market conditions, and but total polar opposites. Like, it's just like that's why Mike Leach and Gundy and Oklahoma State are just so refreshing because. He entertained that early in the year. He did that marriage one where the guy's like,
yeah, it was last year he did the marriage or 2 years ago.
He's like, hey, I hear you're getting married. He's like, yeah. He's like, let me tell you something. And he goes on a 30-minute, but then he still answers. That's the thing, though. It's not like a stall tactic. And then he answers the football questions, and he sits there.
Like he'll literally talk 3 minutes about this marriage, answer a question, then get another question, go back to the marriage, then answer the question. See, but it's crazy because Mike and Mike. Which should have the new show, Mike and Mike. Congratulations, Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick, for going into the Radio Hall of Fame this week.
Are they really?
Yeah, they won this past week, Thursday, I think. Wednesday.
God, isn't it, on a side note, I've said this to you 1,000 times, like Golick made that show, and it's evident now with Get Up, because Greeny is just a freaking dud, man. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so they went in. But, you got Mike Leach, you got Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy, of course, asked the other day, last week they lost, went forward in overtime, or no, they went for 2, didn't make it over in time. And then he was asked afterwards, hey, what do you think the players think? He's like, I don't give a shit what they think. I would have the clip, but it was kind of like soft or whatever.
You can't hear it, yeah.
But he has a player who's transferring from his program, and this is Mike Gundy's thoughts on that Oklahoma State head coach.
Well, I think we live in a world where people are non-committal. We allow liberalism to say, hey, I can just do what I want and I don't have to really be tough and fight through it. And you see that with young people because it's an option they're given. We weren't given that option when we were growing up. We were told what to do. We did it the right way, or you go figure it out on your own. In the world today, there's a lot of entitlement. I'm a firm believer in the snowflake. I'm talking about every millennial young person, Generation Z, I think is what they call them. That's the world we live in, because if they say, well, it's a little bit hard, then we say, okay, well, let's go try something else. Versus, hey, let's bear down and let's fight through this. So you see a lot of that nowadays.
Like, 2 totally opposite ends of the spectrum with Mike Leach and Mike Gundy. Mike Leach is happy-go-lucky. Let's see who would, I think Herm Edwards would, win in a brawl. Mike Gundy is like, what, all these liberal
snowflakes.
These liberal pussies out here.
I mean, Mike Leach, after a game, I don't remember what game it was, but Mike Leach put on a mustache, like a fake mustache, and then Fox College Football, put it out, on Twitter. They put out a picture of it and everything. Mike Leach retweeted that and said, I'd like to use this opportunity to honor a true American legend, Mr. Burt Reynolds. Rest in peace, Burt. Thanks for everything. What coach does that in the middle of a season, they're all supposed to be studying, and they're 9-1, but I'm a firm believer, that's the Pete Carroll effect, I'm a firm believer that when you're a stuck-up a-hole as a head coach, especially in today's day and age, your players will be uptight in big games and stuff like that, and you're fan friendly and you can joke around. Could you imagine a meeting like Mike Leach is in a quarterback meeting or whatever, and he's pointing stuff out, and he's being all, because he's being serious or whatever, and then just out of nowhere he just goes on this 10-minute sidebar or whatever. It'll just loosen up the room. Everybody will laugh. Nobody's gonna be uptight and overthink things and all that stuff. But yeah, we need more Mike Leaches, and Mike Gundy's angry. Like, Leach is just a goofball. But Mike Gundy's just angry as all can be, you know?
And he's a funny angry. Like, remember he was asked about, like, hey, what do you think the people on Twitter are going to say? He's like a rat's ass about Twitter. Like, what does that matter?
Yeah, like, you know, he states his opinions and stuff, but, like, he's angry funny. Yeah, Mike Leach is just goofy funny. Like, Mike Leach is the guy that, like, you know, when you have kids, you know, and he's your grandpa, you know, you take him over there and your kids come home with weird stories.
Yeah.
Grandpa was telling me.
Grandpa Leach told me this. And then you have, like, Grandpa Gundy, who's also a great guy in himself. Grandpa Gundy, we went bear hunting with just knives.
Exactly.
Like, that was fun. I killed a bear. I almost died. But, you know, he said, hey, stick with it. And you'll kill that bear. And we're eating bear tonight. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, those two need to link up and run for president, I feel like.
I know. You
run for office, man.
You started it. You were like, Gundy and Leach 2020.
Gundy Leach 2020.
Who would be on top of that ticket? I think Leach would have to be on top of that ticket.
Yeah, he's more of the good mouthpiece. Yeah.
He's more personable. Gundy would be kind of scare people. He'd scare old ladies off, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah, so anyway. As we got mild amusement out of that this week. Hopefully you all did too. So, but it's college football this week. So the word out this morning is your buddy Les Miles.
Going
to be Kansas's new head coach coming up.
I predicted Les Miles get fired when he did get fired a few years ago, by the way.
But, wow, that was going out on a limb there, Jason, because they were trying to run him out of town for like 4 years before that.
Yeah, well, I remember the loss when it happened. I said, hey, they're going to lose this game. He's gone by Monday, and it happened.
Yeah, I mean...
That was on the original main event radio show.
Oh, yeah.
Not on the podcast.
He, well... Les Miles' problem is he's old school. So, like, he sticks to that old school football, which doesn't work in today's day and age.
Here's the problem I would have. If Les Miles would go to Kansas, I don't think he would do... I mean, what do they have? 3 wins right now on the season? He might do a little bit better, but they're not going to be a top 25 team because the recruiting is different from, you know, Louisiana, the South, where he gets a lot of his recruits from that, you know, Louisiana, Bama, Texas area to Kansas.
But he's in a lot weaker of a conference, too. He doesn't... I mean, you got Oklahoma... You got Texas, who's, you know, here or there, they're coming back, maybe.
You got TCU's hit and miss.
Yeah, so I mean...
Texas Tech hit and miss.
The only school you've got to really worry about there is Oklahoma being a juggernaut right now. And then until Texas comes back, if they can come back and be that juggernaut. So I don't think it's a bad move at all. Yeah, you're right. I mean, but... Who was that big dude that took Kansas to all that crap back in a few years ago? Mike Mangino or something like that?
Yeah, Mangini,
something. Yeah, my apologies to the...
And then Charlie Weiss family. Took over...
But he sucked.
Yeah, he had that 1 year at Notre Dame that was like really solid when he had... but that was all, you know, Brady Quinn, who was that. Like,
God, yeah, if you could beat Charlie Weiss, man. You got that... Remember that? He had that 1 good year and then Notre Dame gave him like a 10-year contract after that 1 good year. And then, like, he just sucked and got fired like so quick after that. No, I mean, like I said, the problem with Les Miles is he's not innovative. He's not creative on offense. It's literally hand the ball off, you know, and play defense. And that's why people turned on him at LSU was you're seeing like Alabama and all these other schools like get creative on offense. And Les Miles was just... It literally, you didn't have to game plan against him. It was just, we know what you're going to do. Let's do it, you know? So, but I mean, it's good to see like these small schools. I don't know what the contract is because it's not official yet, even though it's official. But like, the other reason why it's coming out right now, by the way, is because he was still fighting LSU on his buyout amount. So I guess when you get another job, you can just let your other buyout go because you have another job now, right?
That would explain why the buyout was reached yesterday. Actually, for the $1.5 million. I thought that was weird when I saw it come across the ESPN ticker. I was like, Les Miles and LSU finally agreed to that buyout after 2 years.
From what I read, it's he was owed $9 million when he was fired. It was to be paid in monthly installments until 2023, but by taking this job, LSU no longer owes him any money now or whatever, and so that's why that was the hang up was and whatever. So the second he is going to sign this contract, so he settled for that 1.5, and now he can sign the deal for Kansas on that. So, but I mean, it's good to see. Even though, you know, it might not work out or whatever, like Charlie Weiss to Kansas or whatever, it's good to see these should I say, smaller tier football schools, I guess, even though they're in Power 5 conference.
They're basketball school.
It's good to see schools like that at least trying to get a name coach in there to give their program some spark and try to get some things behind it. And they're not just, not saying it's just a basketball school and stuff like that. So that's what I'm excited about. Whether it's successful or not, it's a whole other deal, but at least if you're a Kansas fan today, like, you have to be excited your school is trying.
Oh, yeah. You're going to rock out. They're not hosting the game today against Oklahoma. They're actually playing in Oklahoma. But, I mean, when you're at the Kansas game tonight for a basketball, you can sit there and be like, hey, baby, Les Miles is coming to town. Because that's always, like, cool, like, I guess, for a school, like, when, like, both your teams are doing well. Especially, like, this time of year. I remember I went to Texas Tech one year, and, like, they beat Kansas. Like, my girlfriend, this girl I was dating at the time, she went to Texas Tech, and I went up for the weekend. She's like, hey, you want to go, to the game? I was like, sure, And they weren't known for their basketball, but that was when they had Bob Knight was there, and, they're all excited about Bob Knight. And then they beat Kansas, and I just wanted to go because Bob fucking Knight, right? Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You guy's a fucking legend.
I forgot he was at Texas Tech.
Yeah. Like, I was like, Bob Knight, that's kind of like what you're talking about right there. Like, when he came, I remember when he took over the Texas Tech job.
Yeah.
They, like, busted in, like, my local. Like, I was, like, 5 hours away. They're like, my local was like, oh, Bob Knight's at Texas Tech. Here's the whole press conference. It's like, sweet. Like, Bob Knight.
And it didn't really work out, but at least they're trying. Like, you got to give them props for trying. Because a lot of these schools will hire, like, they don't even hire, like, the hot, like, name guy, like, from some school. It's always like some guy you've never heard of that's, offensive coordinator at Tulane, It's like, well, what's that guy gonna do, So that's what I'm excited about with it. Like I said, I'm in no way a Les Miles fan, but he's another one of those weird guys, right? Like, he's always out there. The thing I do like about Les Miles is, folks, is he always does the unorthodox when it comes to football. And when it works, God, he looks like a genius because he's beating Alabama, And when it doesn't work, he gets ripped to shreds. Like, why would you go for that when the obvious thing is to go for one here and you went for six and, it's like some weird thing that he tries to do. But that's the other thing I like about him is he'll take those chances, but he won't, like, drop a play that's spectacular. It's like, we're going to hand off. We're going to drop back and hand off here, folks. We need 15 yards. Let's hand the ball off. Anyways. Are we done with college football now?
Yeah. So I do have some baseball notes here to make. Minor league baseball notes to make, actually.
We got a Harper signing, I heard?
No.
Oh.
So there are some pretty... Minor league baseball has always been, like, pretty cool with, like, the names, Like, I always hate when I have, like, a minor league team that I go to. Like, take the Cubs. They're AAA teams, the Cubs. They're AA teams, the Cubs. Their single A team is the Cubs.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
It's like, that's just stupid. All right, that's just the name, the brand, whatever. I always love the minor league. Like, I'm a big hat guy. Like, so I love minor league hats, the logos, all that stuff.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Jerseys, shirts and all that stuff. So this week, the team down in Amarillo, Texas, came out with a new team name and logos and everything. They are the Amarillo Sod Poodles, which I don't know what a sod.
What?
I have no idea what a sod poodle is.
Is that one of those ones that get all like cut? Like, oh my god, that looks like a groundhog or something.
The picture looks like a goat with some straw hanging out the side and a cowboy hat with a K on it.
Doesn't look like a poodle at all.
But there is the most. There's another dog out there, plays in El Paso, and if this isn't the biggest stereotype of a team name I've ever seen and a logo, I don't know what is. But I want you to meet the El Paso Chihuahuas logo, Chico.
Oh my god. How do you do that? How does that fly? Oh my god!
And they're like, I mean, obviously El Paso, a pretty big Hispanic community.
Retweet that on the main event pod.
Oh, I will. Like they're your 4-time champions. Baby.
I'm not a guy that cries like stereotypes and racism, but oh my god, holy stereotype Batman right there, right?
It is a howling Chihuahua, 2019.
That dog might as well have like a giant burly mustache, right? Like, oh my god, like How does that pass?
So this used to be like their old, like, iconic logo. They were the El Paso Diablos for a bit, but then they're like, you know what? It's 2018. Enough time has settled. Since we freed the slaves, let's go back to the Chihuahuas name and unveil this new logo. And all their Twitter feed is just like dancing Chihuahua.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it is. That's hilarious.
Oh my, I don't know. This is crazy.
I get calling yourself the Chihuahuas, right? Like, that makes sense. It's just that mascot. Wow.
How awesome is that? I want a jersey now. Or not a jersey, but a t-shirt, a little Jersey action. I know who their team is. The official Twitter feed.
Are they independent league?
No, they're a minor league team.
Well, there's minor league independent.
PCL, Pacific Coast League, Southern Division champs. It doesn't say who, but they're looking for 5 in the 915. Because they're going for their fourth title.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's even more racist, I think, than the Chihuahua. Like, that just sounds like so bad. Oh, man. The Chihuahuas, El Paso Chihuahuas. Oh, of course, Rey Mysterio was there. Well, they just they stop at no expense there in El Paso. So maybe we can talk to Ruben. We got Ruben hanging out with us this week. So he can
he'll explain it to us, right? So yeah.
But never change minor league baseball. Never change.
So I know I brought this up to you before. So like, I understand ESPN's in bed with the SEC network and SEC and all that stuff. So they did that big apology last week and everything.
Which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And I'm an SEC guy. Like, I thought that was ridiculous. Come on.
But like, you load up ESPN's. I load up ESPN's homepage today just to see what news happened. We were out kind of late last night working and stuff, and so I loaded up, and one of the top headlines. And I understand Feinbaum works for him, and I understand all that stuff, but it's Auburn superfan Feinbaum caller Tammy dies is a top headline.
Well, you got to mix the top headlines in with a feel-good story, because not everybody just wants.
Yeah, that's a great feel-good story, Jason.
Well,
the lady died.
Oh, hey, Tammy,
Tammy died.
You want to remember Tammy?
Everybody, feel good. Tammy died.
I know it's a lot better story than Brian, but I mean, hey. I'm sorry.
Forgot about that. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry Ed had to listen to the 2007 Subway 500 on the radio, and the Mark Martin one.
Well, we'll have to get on that story later.
Yeah, that's
another story for another time. But yeah, it just cracks me up. Like, my first thing I think is like, that should be on like the Feinbaum page or whatever, not on the main ESPN page, right?
Well, it's down the bottom. I understand what they're doing. It's down the bottom. It's a smaller headline. It's one of those like
somebody from the Longhorn Network probably died this week, and it's not on here. That's an ESPN property.
Well, she probably wasn't a big caller, or he wasn't a big caller. This is something like, look at High Noon. You like High Noon, right?
Yeah, I do.
You like the Lebertard show?
I do like.
What they go? They do like their big stories, and then it's like, all right, you got these quirky stories.
I like Highly Questionable. His show, his radio show is a little
regular show kind of weird.
But Highly Questionable is one of the best things you've ever seen on television.
But this will probably be on like Monday, PTI, right? Happy Trails.
No, it won't.
You don't think they'll Happy Trails her on PTI?
No.
I think she. Well,
no.
I always found the Happy Trails was kind of weird, especially when somebody died.
PTI doesn't really deal with Feinbaum though. Like Feinbaum's more of the like get up and.
Yeah, but they might throw it in there for 10 seconds. Happy Trails to longtime caller Tammy passed away.
Why would they care about Why does PTI care about Feinbaum?
Like at the end where they just like rush everything, I know what you're saying,
but why does PTI care about Feinbaum show?
It's not them that care. It's somebody's like, oh hey, there's a story. What's your ado?
You don't think that the PTI guys have enough pull?
Pray for Tammy's family. Pray for Tammy's family.
You know what? I'm not. First of all, it probably sounds like I'm bashing Tammy here, which I'm not. So
great woman.
Thoughts go out to Tammy and her family in these tough times. But I'm just talking about this is obvious SEC bias right here. Obvious.
I don't think
obvious.
I think you're flexing there.
Oh, I got a weird flex there.
Yeah,
we're planting my flag on this one.
But all right. Anyways, we got a whole bunch of NFL football coming up this week. Are you excited for NFL football this week?
Oh my God!
Cardinals are back in action tomorrow against the Raiders. That's exciting, right?
They look better against the Chiefs, but yeah, okay.
This is the final bye week, right? There's 6 teams on a bye this week.
Yeah, it's got to be
it, right?
They're pumping up. You would think. I hope.
We got 3 Thursday games next week. Thanksgiving.
Oh, I was like, why? Yeah, Thanksgiving. God, Thanksgiving's next week. What the hell, man?
So it comes quick. I was looking at the schedule. I was like, who has the night game next week? NBC does.
What is it? Who is it?
Falcons Saints.
Oh my God, we're gonna see an 80-point blowout.
Well, on paper, that game looked. That game would have been awesome in week 3 to watch.
I don't want to give away my prediction here for next Thursday night, but I'm gonna keep you. Y'all tune in next week and get surprised.
So next week, actually, we're going to, since we do have three Thursday games, and they're all pretty big games.
Yes.
We're actually going to do our podcast on Wednesday. How's that sound? And then we're also going to do our our Thanksgiving sides draft.
Okay.
You seem so enthused about the sides draft.
Was it you I was telling this story?
Yeah, we were talking about the.
I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy. I'm a big guy. Everybody,
he eats.
I'm 6'2", I'm not like overweight.
He likes food.
I'm 6'2", whatever, 290, whatever.
His old lady feeds him.
But my what?
I know. No, whenever it wasn't like the thing. Like whenever you saw like a big guy, like, oh man, your old lady must take care of you.
Yeah. But I don't eat a lot. Like, we go out to eat, and you're half my size, and
I put down double what you do.
You pick an order, whatever, and I'm like, I'll just have tacos with just meat, please. We were at Taco Tuesday. Your plate was all full, and I had 4 tacos on that thing.
You get salads with your steak.
I do. With Diet Coke. I don't drink Diet Coke. But anyway, yeah, so we'll do it.
The sides draft.
Okay.
The sides draft. We'll talk about it. Anyway, so Packers lost to the Seahawks.
Are we going to talk about a green bean casserole?
Oh, we're totally talking about. I'm giving you the best recipe for a green bean casserole next Wednesday. So make sure, ladies.
Why? I thought you were giving it to me, and I'm like, I'm not cooking it. Why are you going to give me the damn recipe? Anyway.
So I told you I got invited to this Thanksgiving, right? And I just got the group text. Apparently we're group texting now for the menu here. So great. Now I have to come up with a fucking something to bring. I guess. I don't know. Group texting this menu and attendees list, so everyone has a copy. Alan is in charge of the turkey. Sonia and Kristen in charge of the ham, stuffing, gravy, and green bean. Casserole, yes, green bean casserole. Sweet potato, gosh, they have a lot. I feel bad for Sonia and Kristen. They got to do sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, cookies. Who does cookies on Thanksgiving? Nobody eats the cookies when you bring them on Thanksgiving, right?
I would probably eat the cookies if they're done right.
Crystal, Aaron, and Mom in charge of the cubed potatoes, corn, dinner rolls, broccoli, cauliflower casserole. Sweet, I'm in charge of nothing. Sweet.
Look at that, dude. That's just half of that list is disgusting, dude.
Who does? Wait a minute, I don't see pumpkin pie on here. You got pumpkin pie, right?
You're going to you're going to a place with no pumpkin pie?
No, it's there.
Oh my god, that party deserves to be firebombed.
I was just looking at all these pies that they're in charge of. They have the pumpkin pie, key lime pie. That's not really a Thanksgiving thing. Apple pie, always good.
No, not Thanksgiving.
You know what's the best pecan pie? If you do some bourbon in there, bourbon pecan pie.
There's no such thing as a good pecan pie.
Oh, dude, pecan pie is my jam. That is my jam. Anyways, we'll talk about the sides and desserts next week on the podcast for Wednesday. Special.
So you're going to be doing a lot of talking.
Special podcast for Wednesday. Anyways, football tomorrow. Going to start early in the morning. A game that last year was a game of the week on Fox has now been riddled to the 11 a.m. starts. Cowboys 4-5 taking on the 4-5 Falcons. In Atlanta, Falcons 3.5-point favorites at home. Who are you liking?
You know what? I apologize. I wasn't listening. What game?
Cowboys Falcons.
Got me sleeping there. I'm gonna go Falcons, baby.
Every week you keep picking the Cowboys and they keep proving you wrong. Last Sunday night they beat the Eagles.
They keep proving me wrong. One time they've proven me wrong.
Four times. All right. Well, I think you picked one game that they won, but
no, Falcons.
I think you picked them to win and they lost, so they proved you wrong there, huh?
Falcons,
sucker.
Falcons.
Cowboys get to 500 next week.
Georgia on my mind.
You got Georgia on your mind, that's for sure. Go Cowboys. Panthers at Lions in Detroit. Carolina 4.5-point favorites.
Panthers.
Even though they have been fizzling, I still like the Panthers in this one. I can't believe Matt Patricia had the team out in the snow practicing. That was a weird...
when they play indoors.
That was a weird flex.
They play indoors.
Yeah.
Why are you out in the snow when you're playing indoors on Sunday? What are you doing? It just shows that Matt Patricia doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Dude, the AFC South, believe it or not, I think it's going to come down to the wire with a lot of teams, man. because the Titans are playing the Colts in Indianapolis. Colts are 4-5, creeping up on
Colts?
the 5-4 Titans.
Colts. I was telling you, remember, like, what was it, a couple weeks ago, you mentioned something about the Colts defense, and I was like, I wouldn't trust it. And then it's like, the Colts are, Andrew Luck's playing awesome this year. Like, you know, the record doesn't show that they're great, but they're a good team. Like, they're sneaking up on people. They're under the radar right now, so I know. But, yeah, Colts, baby!
I'll take the Colts as well at home, 1.5-point faves. Buccaneers playing the Giants.
Oh, dear God.
Giants, 2.5-point favorites in the Meadowlands. Going to be cold up there, so I'm going to give advantage to the Giants.
Giants are going to win 2 in a row, baby! Dirk Cutter, pack your bags!
Texans and Redskins. Texans traveling down to Washington. Come on, Texans. Is there one thing I need you to do? It's to beat the effing Redskins. I got the Texans. They're 3-point favorites on the road. Come on, Deshaun Watson.
In the cold?
Landover, Maryland doesn't get that cold.
It's snowing right now back there.
No, isn't it?
I think so.
It doesn't get that cold.
There's a big snowstorm going on back there. Red hail to the chief. Is that their song?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Redskins.
The pigs out there.
The Hogs. Jackass.
Oh, is that what they are? They're hogs?
Yeah. The Hogs. That was the offensive line, like with the Hall of Fame offensive line and stuff.
Back when I was, like, not even born. I just thought they were pigs. Anyway, Steelers 6-2-1. You'd think with all the problems the Steelers have had this year,
nope, with
Le'Veon Bell not going, that they would be a lot worse because we talked about them being in like dire straits, but they're kind of up there in the AFC North, playing the Jaguars in Jacksonville, Pittsburgh 5-point favorites.
Well, Antonio Brown has settled down with his antics because they're winning now and everything. The Le'Veon Bell saga is over because he can't report anymore or anything. The team, Le'Veon Bell didn't report because the team hates his guts. So so the Steelers are just going to do their drama thing till the playoffs come and then they're going to lose. But Steelers are winning this one.
I saw a weird tweet. I got to find this for you here.
The local 69's been gay for years, Homer. Steelers!
Been gay for years out there in the old steel mill. No, I retweeted this guy.
I just referenced The Simpsons from season 4.
This week. I gotta see if I can find this here. Clarence Hill something or another. He works for ESPN Dallas, I believe.
This is exciting radio here.
I can't find it, but so they cleared out Le'Veon Bell's locker.
Oh, yeah. The players cleared out Le'Veon Bell's locker. Right?
Yeah, so they cleared out his locker and got rid of like a bunch of shoes, and this guy was all like, man, that's just pretty crappy of the team to do. Is like, Le'Veon Bell doesn't play for the Steelers. Like, he's not showing up.
Yeah,
he's not playing this year. Like, clear out his locker. Like, get him away from that team.
Well, usually, like, the equipment manager would go through and, like, clean it all out, and then send it to Le'Veon or whatever. Yeah, I saw that, and they're like, oh, this is so disrespectful to other players, and the guy didn't show up. Like, those are stuff that he ordered, like his cleats and stuff. He ordered that stuff before the season. They get delivered there, and then they put in the locker. It's not like Le'Veon Bell walked in and was like,
I'm going to put my cleats in here for the year, guys.
Here and here, and, like, he was never there. Like, that stuff was shipped there for him. So, yeah, it's just a joke, And they took his nameplate off. Like, the players did all that. Which, doesn't that show you that he wasn't well liked there?
Wasn't well liked at all. I like the Steelers to win this game in Jacksonville. Bengals and Ravens playing each other tomorrow. This one to determine second place, I guess, of the AFC North.
Where's it at?
It's in Baltimore. Ravens are 4-5.
John Harbaugh is going to get fired coming up here.
Bengals are 5-4. Don't know who the starter is yet for Baltimore. That's why there's no line on this game. We're not sure if it's going to be Jackson or Flacco.
Well, Jason Lockenford, who's always wrong, says that unless Flacco has a Willis Reed type incident to get it to play, Lamar Jackson's starting. I'm going to go Bengals in this one. Bengals! Even if Flacco starts, Bengals!
I think Lamar Jackson starts. They have that magic for one game because it's going to be something new. I'll take the Ravens.
The problem is when somebody goes in that's highly ranked and then you find out they're not good. Who's the most favorite player on a team?
Backup quarterback.
Exactly.
Most favorite on a losing team. Remember Tebow, though? Tebow Mania took over a few years ago. It could happen again. Raiders at Cardinals. 1-8 Raiders coming with all their Mexican fans to play Arizona. 5-5. 5.5 point favorites are the Cardinals with their Mexican fans. So that's good. Man, I'm glad we're not going to the game tomorrow when we get shot.
I refuse to go to, like I told you early on, like I'm glad we have something else going on. But like I told you, I was like, I stopped going to Raiders games back in like 98 when like Raiders fans are stabbing Raiders fans in the crowd. And like, they're just obnoxious. And like, I remember this one guy, quick side story here. This is when they played at Sentinel Stadium, and I was younger, so I was a little bit wilder, I guess you can say. Like, I wasn't scared of anybody.
You're ballsier.
And, like, this guy literally, like, this Raiders fan and this Cardinals fans were freaking arguing. And I'm, like, watching it like, oh, man, this is going to go down. This is going to be awesome. And, like, literally, you know what started the fight? The Cardinals fan reached up and touched the Raiders guy's hat. And the guy goes, "You don't touch Raiders gear, asshole!" And literally just cold cocks the guy in the face. The guy goes, like, 4 rows back. Big brawl ensues. Cops are getting hit in the face. Like, cops are bleeding as they're hauling people off. You know, the thing. Over a Raiders hat, folks. Over a hat.
I'm sad I won't see the visor that is John Gruden tomorrow.
You know, that's
the one thing that's sad.
Well, not just because I don't go to Raiders games just because the fans are, you know, they're fans. But then the other reason I don't want to go is this is going to be the worst football game like you've ever. You thought that Niners-Giants game on Monday night was bad. Like,
turned out to be a pretty good game at the end.
It was garbage, dude. Cardinals are winning this game, baby. Cardinals!
Go Cardinals!
Rise up, Red Sea!
Get your 3 wins, baby. I like it. They're sneaking in.
I would love the Cardinals to lose for a better draft position, but if the Cardinals, I'm gonna go on record now. If the Cardinals lose this game to the Raiders this weekend,
you gotta fire everybody.
Like clean out. Like literally Monday morning, just be like, look, guys, I think you guys would be better off if you just go home and talk to your family.
Enjoy Thanksgiving and holidays with your family.
Don't worry about the next 3 months. You guys just go handle what you got to handle.
Oh, who's this in your picture? Oh, that's my family. Well, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them because you're fired.
Jeez. I wouldn't go that mean, but
I was talking to somebody this week. They were talking about how they like fired, like, oh, yeah, I had to fire somebody. I felt so bad about it, and you know, like they called me like after I fired him, asking me if I was all right. It's like, see, I would be like that guy who'd like come and be like, oh, who's this in your picture? Oh, that's my family. So it's my wife and my 3 kids. So well, tell them that they're not gonna have a good Christmas because you're fired.
As somebody that's had to fire a lot of people in his day within a previous life, like there's like 2 types of people, right? They're the ones that like break down crying, you know, and they're like all upset, like their world's ending, you know, and all that. Those are the ones you feel bad about. And then you got the ones where you're like, yeah, we're gonna have to let you go, and they're like, okie dokie, and they just get up and like waltz out.
Well,
you know,
later. I get my severance package, right? All right.
It's like the weird, like those are the ones where you're like, damn, all right, you know. But then also,
we still for beers later on me.
Yeah, it's easier to do. Also, like when I was younger, and it was like younger people, you know, like kids out of college or whatever. It was easier because you know they didn't, you know. But then when you find out, you know, then when you know they have a wife and like 4 kids, and like the wife's, you know, down on her luck and lost her job, and you have to do it, and those are the ones that are like, but hey, as a manager, you got to do it, or they'll find somebody that will.
Broncos playing the Chargers in LA. Chargers 7-point favorites.
Chargers! Mount up.
Chargers about to be 8-2 on the year.
Chargers and Chiefs are going to come down to the end here.
I love it.
Who can go, man? It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. Eagles taking on the Saints in New Orleans. Saints to fill the hole left by Des Bryant. They signed Brandon Marshall. Didn't realize the Saints were like so big on a wideout.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like when they signed Des, they said they need a receiver for the depleted wide receiver thing, and I was like, really? Like, yeah, they must really need one because they're.
I feel like they're gearing up. I feel like, you know, because they beat the Rams early on in the season, right? I feel like the Saints are kind of like they saw something that game, even though they did beat them by 10 points. They beat them by. They pulled away there late. Like they saw something. They're like, we got to add like more firepower because the Rams aren't going to let Thomas run shop next time. So I feel like that was like more the reasoning. But Brandon Marshall, I mean, he's been in the league for like 13 years now. Like he's lost a step. Big step. I mean, he's fresh legs coming in, but I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's almost like the Saints. and I don't follow the day-to-day transactions by the Saints like most people do probably, but I agree with you. I think they're bringing people in case somebody goes down. Like, you might have a couple receivers that we don't know about that are banged up, and they might need to take a game off here or there, especially if they wrap up this stuff like fairly early or whatever. So it's almost like they're being precautionary now and bringing these guys in so they can learn the system over the next 2-3 weeks. Not expect that much of them, but that's the thing, man. Like, you saw that report. Dez Bryant, tore his Achilles on the last play of practice. Well, when somebody tears an Achilles, it's usually the last play of practice.
Yeah, that kind of brings the mood down. You don't want to practice too much after that.
Yeah, so it's like cracks me up.
Hey, but shout out to all the players out there last weekend. There's a lot of players on the Saints were throwing up the X. Some Cowboys players were throwing up the X. Everybody's kind of rallying behind Dez, so that's good to see. No hurt feelings there.
The only thing good that happened there, like, you don't want to see somebody get hurt, but the only thing good that happened is his career's over now. He's not coming back after a year out in Achilles. He might. So next year he'll sit out, and then he might go to like a training camp the next year if he wants to try to come back. But his career's over now, and we can finally stop hearing about Dez Bryant.
Hey, and I can tell you one thing right now. Good move on the Cowboys not bringing him back. Good move. They knew that Achilles was fucked up. They knew what they were doing all along. Jerry Jones is a mastermind.
That was because he was sitting on his couch all year. Yeah.
Vikings play the Bears Sunday Night Football in Chicago. Of course, there's going to be bear weather, right? Got to be bear weather. I love bear weather fans. They are the best fans in the world. The meatballs, as they call them up in Chicago, they're all about bear weather. And I've seen the tweets just going. I texted Adam this week. I was like, hey, Adam, got a big game, Vikings and Bears this week. He's like, oh, man, there's going to be bear weather this weekend. I was like, hell yeah, brother. Bear weather. Taking on that dome team from Minnesota.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Go Bears.
I'm going Bears this weekend. Nagy, I'm sold on the guy, and nobody knew who he was when he became head coach. He's got them going. It's going to be cold. The Vikings play.
It's not going to be cold. It's going to be bear weather. You got to say it right.
I refuse to say that. I refuse to say. Don't bears hibernate in the winter? Maybe I should go Viking. Vikings pillage and rape, and burn stuff in the wintertime. Bears
rape?
Hibernate.
Did you say rape?
I did say rape. Didn't Vikings pillage and rape?
I don't know. That's just weird now. Go Bears, go.
Yeah. Okay, we'll settle down.
Bear down. Monday Night Football getting moved from Mexico to L.A., where the Rams are now 3.5-point favorites. Ooh, what was the spread when they were in Mexico? What was the early spread last Sunday?
I don't know.
I kind of wish I knew that now.
I didn't even realize the game was in Mexico until the field thing happened.
I knew it was because that's all they would talk about on ESPN last Monday was that game being in Mexico. Like, we get to travel. Like, Viva Las Mexico. and Witten and Booger were like, oh, I can't wait to go to Mexico. And Booger's like, I can't get some tequila shots in me on the beach. Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then they're like, hey, Jason, remember that last time we went to Mexico with Tony Romo? And he's like, hey, man, shut up.
Did that really happen?
I know, probably. They made him make that up.
Okay.
That would have been good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been awesome on the air. Just feel like, whoa. They went to Mexico during the playoffs, and they had a bye week. That's what that joke was. Folks.
With Jessica Simpson. That was Jessica Simpson Neuromo.
That was that one, yes.
But, yeah, this is going to be a good game, I feel like.
Like, the over-under on this is like 64, 65, something like that.
Yeah, it just went up, like, to 60. It was 63.5. It just went up to 64 as of yesterday.
Yeah, do you know what that means? It's going to be
9-3.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-2 ball game.
No, there's no way. These offenses are both explosive. Pat Mahomes looking to get free ketchup for life from the Heinz people.
I don't get that reference.
If he passes, I saw the stat.
I just saw that he loves ketchup and eats ketchup on everything.
Yeah, if he could bust out the touchdown record, Pat Mahomes is actually gonna get free ketchup for life from Heinz.
Why? What's the tie-in there?
Well, the tie-in is obviously the guy loves ketchup. So there's a Pat Mahomes challenge for the world. Let's see, NFL fans, different opinions on his ketchup uses. So he uses a whole bunch of ketchups. There's a whole bunch of ketchup users out there who are trying to so he uses ketchup on steak, which is really weird, and had a bunch of Chiefs fans riled up.
So does Trump. But yeah,
oh, really? Gross.
Yeah, but I love ketchup. I love ketchup. I I don't do this, folks, but I would squeeze ketchup out of a bottle directly into my mouth. Like, that's how much I love ketchup.
All right,
and I wouldn't eat it on steak.
So here is the story. So the guy loves ketchup on steaks, but he won't ask for it. Like, he won't ask for ketchup, I guess, because he doesn't want people to know that he likes ketchup on steak. Like, he goes to steakhouse and like, oh, yeah.
You know what you do? You do that old thing where you get a side, like macaroni and cheese or something. I know. All right, I put ketchup on my macaroni and cheese, people. But you get a side like that, and then you put your ketchup on the plate, and your steak accidentally hits it while you're eating it.
So right now he has 31 touchdowns, and he went to Texas Tech. Obviously, in Texas, there's this big food change. The only ketchup I like is that spicy ketchup or Whataburger. Whataburger actually tweeted out, Pat Mahomes said, "Hey, let us know where you can send this care package." And had spicy ketchup, regular ketchup, all their ketchup from Whataburger. And then Heinz said, "Hey, Pat Mahomes, if you give us 57 touchdowns, we'll give you Heinz on your steak for life." So
So he goes to
Heinz 57, obviously. If you get 57 touchdowns, then you get a free.
So he goes into a restaurant and he's like, "Yes, Heinz should have a bottle here for me." Or do they just ship him like a ton of ketchup?
I imagine they would just
house?
ship it to him, right? I don't think he goes to like Fry's and is like, Pat Mahomes discount here. Busts out his Heinz Pat Mahomes card.
He's got a hard card for Pat Mahomes. Free ketchup for life.
So Pat Mahomes right now sitting at 31 touchdowns. So we can get 57, 26 more.
He's gonna get there. I mean, unless he breaks an arm or something, because I don't know. Weather turns cold. It's an old Patriots thing where Tom Brady and the Patriots dominated the beginning of the season by throwing the ball, and then they don't do it as much when it gets cold. So,
well, he has a good game this week because they're in LA, so the weather's not gonna be too bad for him. We look at the Chiefs' schedule. I mean, obviously, playing in Kansas City, it's always like a crapshoot, right? Like what the weather's gonna be like.
Yeah, like Kansas City's like I went to a game in Kansas City once, and literally the first half, everybody's just sitting there in like small sweat. Of course, I was bundled up because I'm from Arizona, but everybody's in just a pullover hoodie or whatever, like a light jacket. And then halftime comes, and everybody puts on these big parkas and everything. Literally the whole stadium goes from red to black as everybody's putting on
black
their heavy
yellow,
stuff because the
yellow starter jackets.
Temperature literally turned in 10 minutes,
Well, he's got LA and Oakland for his next two games, so those are going to be his two big passing games. Then you got two home games in December.
No, he's going to get it.
They got three home games in December, and then they play the Seahawks, too, in December.
If he doesn't get it, he's going to get close to it, so...
But anyways, who you liking? I don't think we did our picks, right?
No,
we're
talking about ketchup.
Caught up on ketchup.
You were drooling about ketchup.
Remember the Mr. Burns when he wasn't the CEO of the power plant anymore on The Simpsons, and he was at the store. He's like, ketchup, catsup.
Oh, ketchup. Yeah, we've
catsup. What is catsup?
Ironically enough, you brought that up, Jason.
Because I do not know.
How do you not know that?
I have no idea what catsup is. Where did catsup come from? Is that a northern thing, a southern? I don't know.
So we have a friend that.
We have a friend.
You have a friend.
Oh, I have a friend.
Do we have a friend?
Do I have a friend that's all about catsup?
Yeah, remember? She doesn't like ketchup or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Lainey.
Yes.
Hates ketchup.
Shout out to Lainey there. So basically, catsup, if I remember correctly, it was used more in North America, in our parts. But then ketchup, Heinz and the big scale manufacturers changed it to ketchup instead of catsup. So it's the same thing. But the marketing companies, the people that produce ketchup, changed it from catsup. So basically, ketchup and catsup are the same thing. Tomato-based goo
with vinegar inside.
But yeah, so if you hear somebody say catsup, that would tell me that they're weird,
right?
Because this changed, by the way,
But they still have catsup though at stores, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Yeah. But Heinz is the one that Heinz and Hunt's changed it to ketchup.
They changed the ketchup game.
Yeah. So it's isn't that weird that I have that knowledge?
That's weird knowledge. Weird knowledge.
What else you got for me, Jason?
Your pick. We still haven't got to the pick because we keep talking about ketchup.
I'm going Chiefs, baby.
Do you like mustard?
Yeah, I do. Actually.
I'm a mustard guy, actually. I do mustard on my fries. So you like the Chiefs? All right, so Monday Night Football, LA. This game got moved from Mexico. I got tickets. I said, you know what? Let's go to LA, watch this game. Taking someone, big Chiefs fan, huge Chiefs fans, only because she started playing with the Chiefs on Madden. She really liked the Chiefs on Madden back in 2012 for some reason. That was her go-to team. So I randomly was like, hey, you want to go to this game? She's like, fuck yeah, let's go. I was like, all right, let's go. So, boom, now we're pot committed. So we're going to the game. So she's a Chiefs fan. I told her to wear some red to support. And because you have a hatred for the Rams because they are in the conference, or not the conference, but in the division, I'm going Chiefs. I need to get some Texas Tech. I pull up my old Texas Tech gear for Mahomes, right? Wreck 'em.
Yeah, I don't like the Rams, but I mean, the Chiefs going to win this game, right?
He'll be this is like top defense against top offense, right?
The
like
problem.
They always say defense wins championships, but this is like the new era of football where it doesn't matter. Like it's gonna be
That's actually what I'm excited to watch, is because the Rams' defense is so like their front seven is solid, right? And then. But the Chiefs are so innovative and creative with their play calling.
I mean, Andy Reid's a godsend still.
You know, for the offense. So that dynamic is awesome. But then the Rams' offense is, I think, even more creative than Andy Reid's offense is. So going up against, so the question this is going to come down to is, so the Chiefs' defense isn't good. So what this is going to come down to is can the Rams stop the Chiefs from scoring more points than the Ram? The team that scores more is going to win.
That's usually the team that does not score the most usually loses.
No, but that's because I'm more interested in that dynamic than I am like the actual game. Like I want to see. And then my other question is because the Rams lost this year to the Saints, right? At the Saints, so that was like really their first big game, right?
But we've also seen this year with the Rams defense. I know, like we always hype them up, but remember when they played Minnesota? That game was a shootout. Thursday Night Football. That was a shootout game. Like,
yeah, it came out
against
of nowhere.
Minnesota,
who has good defense.
Who has a great defense, and like their offense, kind of like went down a peg. But I mean, Kirk Cousins like looked phenomenal that game with Thielen and the other guy. And I don't know, like this is gonna be one of those games where you're like, you just don't know. Like I think it's gonna be one of those shootout type games, and like the last play, it's gonna be like a field goal that settles it.
See, I think so, but that's what I'm intrigued by, right? So the Rams went to the Saints, and they were in the game. They got blown out early, and then they came back, and they were in the game, but. The Rams haven't played. Yeah, they played Minnesota earlier, and it was a blowout, but that was a Thursday night, so I kind of throw those away because, But this is like we saw the Rams in a highly anticipated game against the Saints, and they lost. And they came out with everybody saying, the Rams are good, the Rams are good. If the Rams go in here against another highly touted team at home and don't pull this out, I think... what I'm questioning is, are the Rams for real? It's like, are they just going to dominate the regular season, and then when they play, they're going to beat who they're supposed to beat? Then they get to against these good teams, that are dominant and all that stuff, and then they lose? Are they going to be that team? Is what I'm getting at.
I mean, remember last year during the playoffs, McVay looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, they dominated all regular season last year, and they got to the playoffs, and they had no clue what they were doing. And the Saints game, I mean, the reason they lost that game was because they made mistakes, and the Saints didn't. So now you're playing at home against, I'm not going to say an equal team. The Chiefs are a better team than the Rams. But if you want to be known as a big boy and you want to be known as a team, that's one of the best in the NFL, you have to win these games at home. Like, there's no shame losing to the Saints, but you have to win this game.
And that's one of the things I think the Rams do have going in their favor this weekend. This game moved from Mexico, where it's just going to be a whole bunch of, football fans who are now going to be, LA obviously doesn't like show up as much as other cities, but I mean, for a bigger game like this, you'd think, maybe you get a little bit more Rams, firepower in there. I know it's going to be split pretty good.
You're going to be surprised.
Probably about 60-40 split, but I mean, the Rams fans, they need to be loud this weekend.
You're going to be surprised at how many Chiefs fans are there.
I'm going 60-40.
I bet 50-50 middle.
You think 50-50?
Yeah. Especially because, well, that's weird because
the game got moved.
Yeah, because they gave a... That's the thing, and all the tickets went up for sale, but then they're also having all those first responders from those fires going there and everything, so it could be a more Rams thing just because of that. But this I'm more intrigued by than the actual football game. I'm more intrigued on what going into the game, what I'm not X's and O's. Usually I'm an X's and O guy. I'm struggling to figure out what I'm trying to say. I'm usually an X and O's guy, but in this game, I actually could care less about the plays. It's more how the teams react and play, because this is basically a playoff game. And it means a lot to both teams, because the Chiefs have a history of, Andy Reid has a history of not playing well in big games too. But I think this one's more important to the Rams, because if the Rams lose this one, you're going to see a lot of people, I think, start talking about how the Rams they're going to be like that second tier good team where they aren't with the big boys yet.
Like, all right, they're beating up on the teams they're supposed to beat up. Where So I mean, I can definitely see it go either way. But I like the Chiefs to win this one just because Andy Reid. That's why Andy Reid. I mean, both quarterbacks are young. Both Sean McVay's super young, but I think coaching experience-wise, he's been in these big games before. I know he's lost a lot of them, but he's also won a lot of them too.
He doesn't get blown out in them, and they're competitive and they stay in those games. So, I mean, if you can win without a quarterback throwing a touchdown to a receiver all season and have an awesome record, like, you're a good head coach. Like, McVay's a good head coach, but he's got a lot of talent around him. But that's the thing is, these games are a different level. Even though it's a regular season game, and it really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things because they're different conferences, these games will put doubt in McVay's head. If he does not perform well in this and gets out coached, it could put a doubt in his head for when the playoff time comes and he goes up against more established, Sean Payton, for instance, it's going to put a doubt in McVay's head that he's got to step it up, and that's when they'll make the mistakes with all that extra pressure.
Yeah, it's a statement game for the Rams, but I think the Chiefs get this done.
And it means nothing to either team. I mean, in actuality, but yeah, it's a
for media-wise, though,
yeah, it's going to define.
It's going to be like what they're going to talk about all Monday Night Countdown. Both teams are 9-1, different conferences, potential Super Bowl matchup.
Remember when they played the Saints, and I made the comment when they played the Saints, I said the Rams were outcoached and the Rams made the most mistakes, and all you heard on SportsCenter and those things was how this doesn't diminish what people think of the Rams, and I was kind of surprised by that, because I was like, I saw some flaws in there on offense and defense. I saw some flaws in there that...
especially that defense late. They didn't hold it.
And so I was surprised by that narrative, but I think this one here, because like I said, this one's at home. Like, there's no shame in losing the Saints on the road, as I said. But this one at home, you have to. And there's no excuse that, we're distracted, because they flew to Denver to work out because of the fires and all that stuff. So there's no excuses that all this distraction and all this stuff, that excuse will not fly this weekend. The Rams need to win this to keep that narrative that they're a Super Bowl favorite team.
All right. Jeez. So there you go. That will be a fun game to watch on Monday. It's always a fun podcast. Getting here, ready to talk with Steve for about an hour and a half today. A little extra time, as they say in soccer.
Fired up. More importantly, the NFL needs to... Closing notes, NFL needs to investigate, because Bill Parcells says in his book that Bill Walsh cheated back in the 1985 playoff matchup and messed with headphones. Let's get some suspensions going on that, NFL. Let's investigate that. Next one is, oh my God, you saw me watching that video. Colts Quentin Nelson, the rookie guard, best player in football. But his team got him fined $30,000 because he was mic'd up last week. And they made a video where they took it from another play where he was screaming on another play. And they put it on this play where he just trucked one of the Jacksonville defenders. And he put his head down. So the NFL fined him $30,000. The Colts have taken that tweet down because it exposed that he put his head down. And he got him fined $30,000. So go Colts. But on that same side, that was my rant today. Is NFL, come on guys, like, that was the best promotion you could have for the NFL. I could not keep my eyes off that video. He was screaming, I know it's fake, but he was screaming. He trucked that guy. It was just the awesomest thing you've ever seen. And it harkens back to that. And the NFL's like, nope, too much, guys. Too much hitting, guys. Can't do it. So stop it, NFL. Let them have fun. That was a big dude against big dude, and a big dude lost. And it was a beautiful thing. I'm done.
My closing note, with this Chiefs-Rams game being on Monday Night Football, I'm excited to see what type of celebration the Chiefs come up with this weekend when they score a touchdown, because last week was probably the celebration of all celebrations when Tyreek Hill jumped into the crowd, and not only did he film his team celebrating a touchdown, but he also filmed the flag that he received on air, which was just awesome. So I'm excited to see. I hope somebody takes over Booger's headset. Just go up there with Booger's thing and say, "I just scored a touchdown, boys."
They won't be able to, because it came out this week that Booger has a seatbelt he has to use when he sits up there for safety. So you're not going to be able to. Well, Booger's a big guy to begin with, but you're not pulling Booger out of that seat.
Well, go up there, grab the headset, and start talking. That's what I want to see this weekend.
I forgot about that. Yes.
So yes, that'll be fun to see what they come up with, because I love the team celebrations. Whether you get flagged or not, they're always awesome.
What was that? Like 2 weeks ago, they got caught at practice instead of practicing.
They're working on their
practicing. Like somebody filmed it and put it out that they're not practicing and they're playing.
Yeah, that's probably something you should do in like the locker room, right? Like maybe in the team hotel. Like, hey man, let's get together down in the conference room tonight. Work on. All right, so here's what I want to do.
I know.
We do the celebration. All right, if you score the touchdown, you got to take the baby cradle like this with the football, and you got to pump it out like we're giving birth. All right, I'll be the doctor. Okay, you be holding. Can we get that? I want to see somebody give birth to the football. Like have like Travis Kelce down there, like on his back, and then somebody holding Kelsey's hand with Tyreek Hill as the doctor. Like, come on. Then it comes out like, Simba that football.
Is the football considered a prop? I don't think so.
Well, you can spike it. No, I don't think it is. Yeah, they sleep on it and everything.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
That's what I want to see this weekend. I want to see a baby. I want to see birth, baby. Football birth.
Oh, dear God.
I should be in charge of choreography for touchdown celebrations.
On that note,
we are out. Thank you for listening. God bless you. God bless troops, and God bless America.
Catsup.